Hello and welcome to the Enlisted Archive. Before I begin today's video, I want to tell you a little fun fact. What if you wanted to disarm every one of your soldiers? Well, you can, and you hit the OK button. Actually, let's bring every squad in here just to make my point extremely clear. I hit the disarm button again, every squad is in here, I hit close. I go to construction hammers, where is my rope hammers? Gaijin, Darkflow, where are my rope hammers? If I tell you to disarm everything, I expect everything to be disarmed. Please fix this issue, since my SIG Model 1930 apparently went missing. Everything should be disarmed. Where is my SIG M1930? There's the 20. Where's the 30? I have every gold order, yet apparently I'm missing one. Back on track. Today's video is something a little different. What are my keybinds? What are my settings? How do I play Enlisted? Here's the settings for my main page. I would recommend turning aim acceleration off if you do not have an ergonomic mouse. It's basically a mouse that you could cuff with your wrist that has like a natural hand posture, like greeting somebody, shaking their hand. It's for people with carpal tunnel mostly, and for people who don't want to have hand strain after long sessions of working at the office or a computer, and it's very pleasant to use. There is a learning curve to using a mouse dedicated to this, but I would say after like 2 to 3 months you should gradually understand it. That's how long it took me when I first got this mouse in 2022, and ever since I have been loving it. But for anyone else, aim acceleration on 0, everything else, it seems to be exactly the same for PC. Now let's go to the movement page. Everything looks to be the same here, but there is a little difference. My crawl is hold C and my crouch is C. I don't like buttons being different for posture's sake. I like to have more dynamic interactions with it. I don't like to just press Control or Shift to do something, except sprint. Control, on the other hand, it's a little too far away from me. It would mess up my hand posture. So with the way I would have my left hand, like right now, my middle finger's on W, my index is on D, and my left thumb is on space. My left pinky could be on Control, but I like to rest it on Shift if necessary. And it can also go to my tab key and also my tilde key if I needed it to. When I crouch, I just hold the button a little bit longer and I could go prone instead of having a different button dedicated for a movement's sake. It does help me a lot. It did help me plenty when Enlisted had old animation cycles where you could go prone and crouch to near instantaneous levels. If main and movement were similar to you, this is where we're going to break off completely. Mount weapon is on Z. Yes. It just makes more sense to me keeping a posture button closer to the more engagement buttons, you know what I mean? Shooting, that's going to be left click. Aiming, right click, Aiming 2, that just means you can like have the outward zoom animation cycle, right? Shift, that's right. Reload gun is R. Now V is your marking button. I rebind it to toggle rifle grenade launcher. We'll get to Y in a minute. And then the weapon keys are basically the same. Now special weapon being 6 could be changed, but it's whatever. 5 is for explosions, but there is another reason why it's different. Next main weapon doesn't really need to be a toggle. You just use the mouse wheel or you just press 2 and 1. I don't get why it's a button, but I understand why it exists. This one's interesting. It used to be okay, but I think I might change this in the future because Enlisted always didn't have the bullet in the chamber mechanic. So when I sprint, I want it not to be middle mouse click because most of the time it meleeed the air. Having melee be hold R can be good or bad depending on the situation. Good as in it could reload your weapon as you're sprinting for some weapons. Some animations do get caught and indefinitely repeat until you stop sprinting, and that could be a huge detriment until you stop moving. And if you didn't stab the person as you were meleeing, you're going to be reloading in front of an enemy. And you know what happens when that happens. I don't have to say any other word. This is where you're going to be like, what? What, why? What, why? Okay, hear me out. Tilde. It's a button right next to change your weapons. It's a button that you could always reach. G, on the other hand, you have to move your left index finger over enough, right? And I like to keep it on E as much as possible. If I could keep it on E, it's more in a natural position for me, which I can go to F or C. Since if it's in this bracket of E, F, and C, I don't have to extend it more to G that actually moves my hand a little bit more to the right. I can always use my ring finger or my pinky to reach that, and by holding the tilde key that charges your grenades and selecting every grenade here makes it so that you can just use every grenade with the same key. Now, this won't work if you use large grenade pouches with different types of grenades, but I never do that. I don't see the point in doing that. If I wanted to use grenades in a large grenade pouch, I would use the same type of grenade. Everything here could make sense to an extent, but not throwback grenade. I may change this key in the future, but my muscle memory wouldn't allow it. Every time I want to throw an enemy grenade back, I would half of the time throw my own, and then I would stare at the ground, see the enemy grenade, and go, oh, 7. Increase zeroing distance, page down, page up. This is for like anti-tank weaponry. You don't really notice this mechanic a lot. Like, to be honest, I'm looking at my keyboard right now. I can't find page up and page down. Like, I'm looking right now. I don't know where it is. Is it the arrow keys? No, I found it. It's by home and end. Like, this is so far out of the way on a keyboard that I just can't be bothered with it. I can't be bothered with it. Now, firing mode. That is my V key. It changes the, select fire weapons, semi-automatic, whatever. It's better on V. This seems to be almost outdated now, since most of the guns that I used this for were like FG42 platforms. And now they're spawned automatically, so... but still, muscle memory. Throw a grenade in a down state is also tilde. Yeah, that's good for Molotov. The view tab. Control, aiming, leaning. This shouldn't be different from anyone else, I think. Maybe the view button. That's where my control button went. Squad, show pie menu, Alt. Caps lock is radio call, easy. Switch member is Y. I keep that far away because it gradually tells me that I need the next soldier. So if I have to move my hand all the way across my keyboard, roughly half of the distance away, that means something's gone wrong or I need something from another soldier. So it focuses me back into the engagement if I have to physically move my hand that distance away. Soldier selection menu. I don't really use this mechanic a lot. I know you can be a better player if you utilize this by individually controlling each of the soldiers, but since everyone could die in 1 or 2 bullets anyway, I don't really see the point. Battle cry is just like a flavor text. I don't really care for it. It's fun, but it's whatever. Switch to mode of giving orders. I think that also goes with K, right? The K is the individual orders, and switching like those. I don't think I've ever used this mechanic, to be honest. G is the one I was talking about. G was the one that you switch between the members, like in the pie menu. Context squad commands X. Yes, this is the keep your squad in a location and cancel it out. Change artillery, shell type R. Vehicles. I don't really play vehicles here, so I don't think much of this has changed. Vehicle repair T, exit vehicle alone J, personal weapon V. You could look at the rest of this to see what I have and what I have not. And you could... Wait, you could use medkits inside of the tanks? I didn't know that was possible. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to do that next time. Okay. Plane. It may be different, it may not be, I don't remember. But if you think you have any if you have any recommendations like supercharger gear, toggle prop, feathering, auto radiator, like does Enlisted use these mechanics? I know in War Thunder it could. I mean, it's a vehicle game. It's based in vehicles, right? For Enlisted, I don't think all of this control matters. Does it? Like oil radiator? Like what would this even mean for a key? Prop pitch? Radiator? Like mixture? View? I get view. Elevator trim? Rudder trim? I don't like... Like, do these things do anything? Why is this interface still here? Other. Voice chat mic. Okay, so this is a mechanic where if you squad with 3 other people, you can press F2 to speak to them in a VoIP scenario. This is Enlisted. If you're going to squad with people, you're going to play in a Discord call or some equivalent. The in-game audio is not terrible, but it's mixed in with the game. You can't overpower it by lowering the game volume and upping your Discord or etc. If someone's speaking within Enlisted, they're going to be drowned out by everything else. Rotate building for engineers, recover, use, F, push objects, B. Push objects. This could be good for some situations. What's a good application for this? I wouldn't recommend it, but if you have a assaulter squad with 2 primary weapons and you like the second one better, you could drop it and give it to like your engineer. And then the engineer could build an ammo box and get unlimited ammo until that soldier dies. Because if that first guy dies, their first weapon only drops on the ground. Next, building type number 0. I don't think I've ever used this button. I don't think I have a purpose with this button. I didn't know it existed, but number 0. That's across my entire keyboard. I would never press that. Interaction with buildings. What the hell does this even mean? Is this like destroying buildings? Helping build buildings? Well, if that's the case, that's just my X button. Building repair. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I remember doing that. Place wall posters. Vote yes, vote no. What? Are these like legacy buttons? Because I've never seen this. Screenshot no GUI. Okay, this stuff doesn't really matter. Enter is my chat. M is my map. HUD scores HOD? What? Mark enemies left click or V. Left click makes it so every time you shoot, you mark an enemy. And AI loves to be notified of marking positions, so they will gradually look to where you mark. And it's not dedicated to only your squad, it's your entire team of AI. If you have full AI squads in your team, after someone leaves and they fill the void, they will also be notified of this command of left click. V on its secondary platform cannot change rifle grenade launchers because I'm in a plane or a tank and they don't have this weaponry, so the conflict can't exist. For V, I can now mark in the air or as a tanker. I forgot that you could do 2 different keybinds on the same button. I've just learned this. I could have been a better pilot for maybe 2 years if I just looked at the damn screen. Spectator, you're not going to have anything different. Replay, you're not really going to have anything different either. And with that, we come to a close. Those are my settings. I'm not sure if that will help anybody, but if you wanted to know how I played Enlisted for the past half a decade, then that was roughly the best showcase I could do for my settings. The buttons I have selected on every key that I've shown will not change unless the game has drastic reconstructions on how the gameplay operates. This video should not be outdated in any means necessary. And by saying that, thank you for watching the Enlisted Archive. Sayonara.